Hello, my name is Alexander, and I'd like to welcome everybody to the Tuesday World Meditation. Tonight, you're joining me from my home in Sweden, in Stockholm. Hello, this sacred time and space, and I'd like to welcome everybody to our shared practice, the Tuesday World Meditation, of entering stillness together. Tonight, we're joining you from my home in Sweden, in Stockholm. Let us first surround, hello, and protect this sacred time and space with the love and grace from God. Before we begin the meditation, I would like to read a passage from the New Message. This passage comes from the chapter Concentration within the book Wisdom from the Greater Communion. We have said in so many different ways at many times that concentration is powerful and that it is a necessary skill to develop over time to achieve a goal of any significance. Concentration is something that everyone who approaches knowledge must develop because it takes strength of mind and conviction, focus and determination to pass through the thresholds on the way to knowledge. But what is concentration? What does it feel like? How is it practiced and applied? Let us address these questions because they are important for you who are considering taking the path to knowledge. Concentration is focusing the mind on one thing, one goal, or one activity to the exclusion of everything else. It is a special activity of the mind and not something we do at every moment. But it is necessary in order to penetrate both the mysteries and the lies that surround the great truths of life. Thinking about one thing, observing one thing, or working on one thing for any prolonged period of time produces a result that could not be achieved otherwise. Any craft person knows this. Any artisan knows this. Any composer of music knows this. Any builder knows this. You must concentrate on what you're doing. Work demands this concentration. That is why work is redeeming to people. Real concentration is consciously directed. The world can demand your attention for a great period of time. But that does not necessarily cultivate the kind of skills that we are referring to. To develop these skills, the motivation must come from within you, and you must have adequate support on the outside to assist you. The Steps to Knowledge program provides the structure and the focus for reclaiming and regaining your relationship with knowledge. In order to follow these steps and to apply the practices adequately, you must develop your concentration. The motivation for this must come from within you. No one is standing over you, telling you to do it. No one is demanding it of you and threatening you with the loss of your job or security if you fail. The motivation must come from within you. Concentration is an experience of single-mindedness in present time. You can contemplate something in the future, but it must have to do with something that relates to a present need. You can concentrate upon something of a practical and material nature, or you can concentrate on an idea, a possibility, an event, or a decision you are about to make and its possible outcomes. Concentration is work. In fact, it is the very essence of work. Concentration matched with skill and appropriate planning produces results. It produces the results of work. When we speak of concentration, we are speaking of work for the mind. When the mind is worked and it is internally motivated, then great inner strength can be developed. The mind then becomes more powerful, more focused, more dedicated, and more determined. This determination and this dedication can be focused in many different directions. If they are focused upon good, upon producing meaning and value for people, and upon solving problems of the world in service to humanity, their benefit can have no boundaries. The concentration of one mind affects other minds and stimulates concentration within these minds. It activates the deeper instincts in others, the desire for contribution, accomplishment, value, and meaning. These can all be stimulated by the concentration of one mind. In fact, all great people always surrounded by people of lesser concentration, seeking to benefit from the presence and the productivity of that one concentrated mind. It is natural for people to gravitate towards individuals who are concentrated. For these individuals generate power, meaning, and productivity. Developing concentration requires the ability to release your thoughts and to control your thinking. Because life is filled with so many different kinds of stimulation and presents so many different kinds of problems to consider. It is increasingly difficult to become focused on one thing. Your attention is always being pulled away by many different elements and forces. It is so easily captured by stimulating presentations in the media and events and in your immediate environment. Greater and greater problems are presented for you to consider. Global problems, community problems, problems in relationship, and problems that are physiological in nature. With so much to consider and to think about, and with so many stimulations and concern, how can the mind be focused on one thing? Instinctively, people know that concentration is valuable. People climb mountains in order to experience concentration. They dedicate themselves to the arts, music, or dance. They build things, they invent things, all to have this experience of concentration. This experience of being completely present with no past and no future for those moments in which their mind is fully engaged. This produces relief from the constant vexations of the mind, and it produces inspiration. Give the mind one thing to dedicate itself to. This produces equanimity, because when the mind is focused, it becomes still, even when it is working very hard. This gives you freedom from past regrets and from future anxieties. It takes you away from fear and into a concentrated state of mind. It generates activity, observation, and many other specific tasks. When the mind is focused, it gains greater strength. It is more penetrating. It is more creative, and it is more effective. The importance of concentration can be immediately seen when you realize how much you must apply yourself in life. How much time and energy will be required of you, and how focused and determined you must be to resolve the many problems that are genuine in nature and that require your attention. Consider this, because we are preparing you for the greater community. Consider the concentration of those who are joined together in a singular purpose and are visiting the world at this time. You cannot yet match their concentration. You are much too distracted. Yet, your visitors can provide motivation for you in this regard. They have achieved concentration. Even if their motives are not pure or beneficial, they have achieved concentration. Only very few people here have achieved this level of concentration. Some of these have been concentrated on good, and some have been concentrated on destruction. Yet, in all cases, they are more powerful and more effective than those around them. They have had an impact on the world. Great conflicts of the world, wars, cultural conflicts, and competition for land and resources have all been waged by powerful individuals. Everyone else just goes along and tries to hide and escape. The world that you live in is governed by individuals. A very small percentage of the population impacts humanity and determines its activities. If you think about this, you will realize that it is true, how important it is. Therefore, for you to become a concentrated person, not only for the personal, spiritual, or psychological benefits, but also to make a difference in the world, to be a force for good, and to be a vehicle for knowledge. You must be concentrated in order for knowledge to emerge within you. Otherwise, knowledge will seem too powerful, too threatening, or too overwhelming for you to experience. Please join me now in a 30-minute stillness practice. Take whatever time you need to read your own step and enter into stillness when you're ready. Nasinawara Kuram. While we are in this place of stillness together, I'd like to share a passage speaking about the messenger. This is a passage from the chapter, The Story of the Messenger, in the book, The Messenger. The messenger is in the world. He will not be in the world for a long, long time to come. And that is why he must be recognized for those who have this great opportunity. His life has been inexplicable. His presence is inexplicable. We must see this with clear eyes and listen with a deeper hearing to recognize these things. The burden then is upon the listener, upon the recipient. The messenger has received almost the entire communication. It is enough to last for generations and centuries. For no one can tell you how to prepare for the new world. No one can tell you how to prepare for a greater community of intelligent life, a competitive environment on a scale you cannot even imagine. No one can tell you of the deeper mind. No one can provide the new revelation. The revelations are always given to one individual. So there is no confusion. There are no different versions. There is no competition between different individuals who make the same claim and proclamation. It is always one individual with the assistance of certain courageous people that can bring a new awareness and reality into the world. Every age has its prophets, but the messengers only come infrequently to alter the course of human understanding, awareness, and destiny. You will see that the messenger will be judged. He will be condemned. Others will make it their purpose to destroy him. Learn the lessons from the past in this regard. He is not simply here to sacrifice himself so that other people can create a story about him. He has his own story, the story of the messenger, a story he is too humble to speak of, a story that must be revealed to all who can hear and understand. People want the messenger to be many things, to meet their desires, their beliefs, and their preferences. But the messenger has been prepared by greater powers and sent from the divine to be in the world according to a greater plan and destiny. Be careful then in how you approach this rare and significant individual. Be careful regarding your expectations, your beliefs, your preconceived ideas, your judgments, and your grievances. For these can all blind you to who he is and to what he can offer to you and to the whole world. May the blessing be with him. The power and the presence is with him. He is fallible. He is not perfect. He will face many difficulties. It is what is in him, and with him, and through him that is perfect. His life is a vehicle for this, as your life is a vehicle for something important as well. But he is the seed of a greater future for humanity, a new understanding of your existence within a greater community of life, and of the great turning point that humanity is now beginning to undergo. Let this be your understanding, but do not come to conclusions. The awareness of the messenger is only just beginning. Let us spend a few moments together to be with Marshall and send him our love and our strength. Now see if there are others in the world or in your life who need to receive this strength as well. If so, spend a moment sending strength or another quality to these individuals. Nasi Mubarak Quran. Thank you all for coming.